Welcome to an emergency broadcast special transmission of the Tony Freda Show. Tony Freda here. I'm not fear-mongering when I say I believe through my study of political ponerology, which is the study of how evil takes over a society and how psychologically disordered people come to rule it, that we are at the precipice of the first 5G world war. Traditional wars are air, land, sea, 3G. This is 5G. The two other Gs are space and cyberspace. Cyberspace being coordinated with space, directed energy weapons from space, laser weapons, satellite technology, obviously, and it's all interconnected, intercoordinated through the 5Gs. Now, we are obviously in the so far traditional war with Iran. And the war is escalating out of control. The intelligence community, 92% chance told Trump all the war games they've done, computer simulations, war gaming the South for 40 years, said there's a 92% chance this ends in either total failure and capitulation or global nuclear Armageddon. I think we have a 50-50 chance that this thing in the threat escalation ladder leads to global nuclear war. And I'll tell you why. Right now, yesterday, Saudi Arabia, for the first time, moved nukes from Pakistan into Saudi Arabia, right? Pakistan was holding these nukes for them. They had a deal. And the only country that was allowed to have nukes in the Middle East for 40 years was Israel. That's off the table now. This is going to start a nuclear arms race in the Middle East with the Arab countries who all never liked the idea that Israel's the only one in their region that has nuclear weapons, right? So that's about to be on. And that's not good. So there's so many pieces, and you'll see how the global world war is about to commence. So obviously we have the Iran war. The threat escalation ladder is going up the threat, each rung, right? The next rung, there's two more rungs. One is ground invasion, which Trump is threatening. Now, something's obviously happened to Trump. If it's demon possession or mind control or dementia or all three, we don't know. But he went from saying, I'll never start a war to starting Armageddon. He casually talks about killing 90 million people. The man is possessed. Something's very wrong. And I think we have to go 25th Amendment because he's going to destroy the world. So ground invasion is the next step, a rung in the threat escalation ladder in Iran. The other one that they're going to need to precipitate the ground invasion, get people's support behind it, is a false flag. Like 9/11 was a false flag, a massive terror attack that they needed to get support for all these wars and for the Patriot Act to take our rights away and launch 7 wars. And it worked like a charm. Israel and America need another 9/11 type event if they're going to get any public support for a ground war, because the polls don't back it up right now. People do not want a ground war. The other thing they're going to need with the ground war is a draft. There's not enough soldiers. And one way we can fight back is do not comply. Do not send your sons and daughters to be slaughtered in this meat grinder. Because Iran is a giant fortress surrounded by mountains, and they've been preparing for this war for 40 years. They're saying, bring it on. They have their own religious thing, the Shia, where it's the end of the world and it brings in the Mahdi, and it's their version of Armageddon through their scriptures. And they're not afraid to go to heaven with the 72 virgins, all right? Now you have Russia on another front in the Ukrainian war, but Russia's threatening to expand that war by attacking NATO countries because he says they're supplying Ukraine with missiles and they're fair targets because his missile factories have been targeted by NATO, which is waging a proxy war with Russia. NATO is saying that that proxy war will become a direct conflict if Russia attacks the European Union, and then it's on. So direct war with Russia and the EU is about to happen. A massive escalation in Iran's about to happen. Saudi Arabia just got nukes. Pakistan says that if Israel nukes Tehran, they're going to nuke Tel Aviv, starting a chain reaction, which means nuclear holocaust. And then China's a player too, obviously. China is using the fact that Trump is distracted with and all the military hardware is in Iran, in the Strait of Hormuz area. And Xi Jinping is going to use this opportunity to attack Taiwan. It's coming this year, soon. Could be tomorrow. And he also has to get to Taiwan, he has to take part of Japan. So China is about to go to war with Japan and Taiwan. And if that's not enough, Israel is being incredibly provocative. They just today had 4,000 Israeli soldiers go to the Dome of the Mosque, a Dome of the Rock, the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is a holy site for them. Now, this is where it gets complicated. They say it's a holy site because Muhammad was there, but Muhammad was never there during his lifetime in Jerusalem. He died and then flew on a winged horse from Mecca to Jerusalem and then ascended into heaven to be with Allah, right? So it's very spurious grounds to make this a holy site, but they did it for political reasons because they wanted a foothold in Jerusalem. That's the real history. Nevertheless, they claim the rights to the space. And if the Israelis desecrate it, which they're doing right now, it's going to cause a massive reaction from the Muslim world, obviously, and it's about to happen. So we have all of these flashpoints and pressure points all over the world. The Sunni Shia, right? Iran is Shia, Saudis are Sunni. They hate each other. Goes back 800 years, and they got a beef. And now they could possibly go to war too. And now Saudi Arabia has nukes. And Saudi Arabia is not happy that Iran has been bombing everything in the Middle East because their effort of debasification, they call it, like getting American bases out of the Middle East, which is okay with me. But we're in this unprecedented territory. We are at the precipice of horrible nuclear, possibly war, a world war involving all the major players in the world. And it's going to lead to, according to very well-known people who know what they're talking about, this is going to start with a global famine starting in Iran, spreading because of the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. So much fertilizer comes through there. It's going to be a refugee crisis of unprecedented proportions. Do you think there's refugees streaming into the West now? This is going to be another few 100 million that have no place to go because their countries have been nuked into oblivion. So we're going to see widespread famine, economic ruin, depression. And I'm not trying to scare you with all this. I'm trying to prepare you because there is a very high likelihood that this is where it goes, right? Wars are not predictable as far as the details, but they are predictable in two ways: that they always grow and they always take longer than anybody said they were going to, right? Trump said he was going to end Ukraine war in a week. Yeah, that didn't happen, buddy. And then he said this war was over like 50 times. He said it was over. It's not over, dude. Not even close. Matter of fact, he keeps escalating and escalating. So what are some solutions? First of all, be informed. Follow people that don't listen to the mainstream media because everything, this saying Trump has 100% support for this war, total lie. All of a sudden they became Trump's buddy. You know that? You notice that? Like how CNN is now aligned with Trump and now that he's started World War III. Interesting. Be informed. Follow people like Michael Yon, and I'll put some links to people that I think actually have this stuff figured out. Number one, be informed. Number two, buy storable food, because all these guys who know their stuff and study this deeply are saying massive food shortages and famine are coming. Get water filtration system, simple system, gravity system, pour water on top, and the takes out the impurities. I would say weapons to protect you and your family, silver coins in case there's a cyber attack, EMP, and you can't get to the gas stations don't work, the debit cards don't work, the banks don't work. They need adapted conformers. So Carl Jung wrote a book about politics called The Undiscovered Self. And he said for totalitarianism to take hold, the people needs to lose their sense of self. So we need to understand that these are dangerous people. These are demon-possessed people. I mean, just look what happened on Epstein's Island. Look at those people. You cannot explain it any other ways. Someone that can grape a baby and eat a baby. I mean, they talk openly about it. These are demons, okay? And this is a spiritual war. And if you don't believe in demons, you're about to find out they're real. Get right with God. And your individuality is your defense. The truth is your defense. Courage is your defense. I'm not saying this stuff to scare you. I'm saying it because it needs to be said. And I'm saying it because I love you and I want you to understand that this whole war, just like World War I, was a mass ritual and mass human sacrifice, a demonic prayer to Satan. This is the same thing. This is a depopulation agenda. They want to kill us through nukes and through famine and through depopulation any way they can, through traditional warfare. So, and then also they want the draft, which is going to put all these guys in a meat grinder, and they want to decimate the population of patriotic young American men and fighting age men. And what better way to do it than to go over their glass parking lot? Yeah, good luck with that. So be smart. Do not comply. Do not send your sons and daughters into this meat grinder. We can't vote our way out of it, but we're in this, that corny COVID saying, like, we're in this together. It's us against them. Them meaning the same people who brought us COVID, right? They're not in it with us. They hate us. They're our enemies. They're the enemy of humanity. And we need to realize that. They hate you. They want you and your family dead. They tried to kill you with the clot shots. And they're doing a good job. So please prepare. I hope the hell I'm wrong. You can all make fun of me when I'm wrong and Trump ends the war tomorrow and everything's beautiful, right? I don't think it's going to happen, but I pray to God that I am wrong and that this thing has some sort of resolution. But I see no evidence of that. That's why it's incumbent upon me as someone who's an honest person and who studies pornology and studies the elite demons who run the world, that we're at the precipice of something really dark, a satanic ritual that the world has never seen before, on a scale of depravity and darkness that is hard to even comprehend for a normal, decent human being. So get right with God. Love your family. Love the people around you. Bring them together and just calmly and cautiously do the things I said. Please protect yourself. God bless.